Hey everyone, welcome to the r/Indieheads podcast. I am your host, Matty, aka Recon IG. On today's podcast, we have
Uh,
Maz.
Maz.
That's your cue.
Oh, sorry. Maz, I am ADGA77 on Reddit.
Nick, and we have herpes on Reddit.
AJ, I'm the Dark Hobo on Reddit.
God damn it, man. We discussed this at the beginning when we were preparing. We're getting all through the schedule. Okay.
It's the first time until
We want to get the timing right because, again, that's one problem we had is that there's like this awkward silence in
Yeah,
between.
we'll work on it. It's okay.
Okay, but anyways, this week, oh my god, there was a lot of news this week, guys. I think, the past couple weeks it's been sort of dry on news, but like this week there was a lot of stuff, let's just say that.
Yeah.
And the first big news event that we're going to be talking about is the new Tame Impala album. It's finally coming out in 2015. Don't know the official date, just we know that it is coming out in 2015 according to Tame Impala's record label, I think.
I don't know what label it was,
he
but
pretty much just confirmed it. Like he was like, "Yep, there's an album coming."
I think it was like in some sort of email to like businesses. I'm not sure. I think just to like Spinning Top Music. They announced it via email that, hey, by the way, guys, new albums from Tame Impala coming, or a new album from Tame Impala is coming this year. I think along with some others.
yeah, that's pretty cool.
Well, this is really exciting for me. I think Loner is one of the best albums, like best, top of the top of the past couple of years.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of liked.
I've never actually listened to Tame Impala, so
Yeah,
I think that's one group I need to get into.
I don't know. I listened to a lot of other stuff before I listened to Tame Impala, and when I actually got into Tame Impala, they were kind of like, I don't know. I didn't get the hype that much, but I think they're okay. I'm excited for their new album. I think that is it Kevin Parker in that band?
Yeah, I think that's the guy's name.
Yeah, he's pretty talented. He's able to play like all the instruments on his albums. That's really cool, and I'm pretty excited for the new album. 2015 is going to be cool.
Yeah, there's been some interesting collaborations too, like since I worked with Kendrick Lamar, and I think like Flying Lotus, just cool stuff.
Yeah,
I think it makes us up a little bit, AJ.
Jeez.
he's fine for me.
I think it was a little weird. Anyways, but yeah, I guess I'll probably have to check out this guy's music before his album comes out.
Yeah,
I feel like it's gonna be a big deal probably when all this stuff starts rolling out, like more info and whatnot.
Yeah,
2015 continues to be more and more stacked with these huge releases.
Oh god, yeah, 2015, Jesus Christ. Like, 2014 to me, it wasn't a horrible year, I guess, but it was also kind of disappointing in certain ways. It was just sort of it was kind of like a
2014
transitional.
It had a lot of good albums, like.
There was a lot of good albums, but I think it was like not like 2013 was pretty stacked. I think it was this year was more like transitional.
It was smaller in scale.
a lot of stuff that we thought was going to come out didn't come out.
Yeah,
which kind of.
Fuck you, Kanye. Fuck you, Kendrick. Fuck you, Death Grips. Who else did
Radiohead.
did
Radiohead.
No, I don't think Radiohead confirmed anything for 2014.
Well, I mean, this year we could get Radiohead, Kanye,
Oh, yeah, we're talking about
Tame
this.
Impala, Kendrick, and Frank Ocean, like within a month.
Kendrick, Kanye, Frank. Oh yeah, Fred say fuck you, Frank Ocean. Okay, so Death Grips,
I was
Bjork,
expecting
James
Beach
Blake.
House.
Beach House, yeah. Beach House is pretty anticipated for this year, though.
Who else
Because-
got named? Be Childish.
Beach House.
Oh, Beach House. Oh,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. It sounded like Beach House. I'm like, who the hell is that?
Well, yeah, they had new songs, like not officially released, but like
I think they're doing them live. I think I did hear.
yeah,
about
like
that.
live recordings near the
Yeah,
end
I
of
heard that.
2014. So that probably is a pretty
I
good
think, yeah,
tease
they're
that new
probably
stuff is on the way.
2015 is gonna be great.
Yeah.
It's gonna be, along with 2015 being great, we have another album that was announced to be released in 2015. Is the new Unknown Mortal Orchestra album. The band confirmed that the album has already been mastered, and I guess we could expect it sometime. I guess maybe in Q1. I think I would assume if it's already mastered. So again, Unknown Mortal. I think this is a very I kind of want to say underrated band, even though I was a little surprised at like how highly rated the post was on Indieheads, because I didn't know if that many people even knew about this band, but I guess they did. And this album, their past two albums are really, really good albums. Like they're sort of very just good, like rock with kind of like a little lo-fi-ish kind of nostalgia quality to it. That's very catchy, just very, it's nice music, very nice music.
I really
And,
like them. I think they have like really simple production, but it's at the same time like kind of complicated. It's just like nice to listen to in general.
Just generally very good music. I'm excited to see what they do in 2015. Of course, I don't think AJ and Nicholas have ever listened to him, but you guys definitely should. They only have like 2 albums. They're both very good.
Yeah.
I was just gonna say, I think our special guest last week teased you with this. Right?
Oh yeah, I think Kyle could probably tell us a bit more about the album.
Was
Of course,
wait.
if you can say anything.
What did he do?
Okay, so if you didn't, Kyle or Lucia Cross, well, he's the web developer for Secretly Canadian, who I think also owns Jaguar, which is the label that Unknown Moral Orchestra.
I didn't know. Yeah, okay. I didn't know that was the label that they were on.
Yeah. So maybe you could tell. And I remember last week before we did the podcast, I asked him about the album because I think we were going over stuff we could and couldn't say to him. And I'm like, is there going to be a new Unknown Moral Orchestra album coming out in this year? And he's like, because I'm like, oh yeah, the band's kind of alluding to it. And he's like, maybe, I guess. I mean, I think you're right. You're probably right. And then bam, this week they announced a new album coming out in 2015. I'm officially a god. Okay, I'm going to be on a new Disney sitcom titled That's So Matty. The long-awaited sequel to That's So Raven.
Wait, is that the show where she like predicts the future or something? Like
Yeah.
That's a Raven.
She's a psychic, so That's So Matty. It's coming in 2016.
Okay.
But anyways, also on the list for news, this is not really a new album, but St. Vincent is set to release a deluxe edition of her self-titled album from last year. It's going to feature 5 new tracks, 4 of which have already been released, and there's 1 unreleased track. So I discovered St. Vincent last year with the self-titled album, and I fell in love with her music and all this stuff. And it's really awesome to see that like she's getting like some big mainstream attention, and she's able to do stuff like this. Where like, okay, I can just re-release my album. Yeah, nominated for a Grammy, a couple of TV performances that went really well. I think she was named by NPR the 3rd hardest working artist in 2014 for like all the touring she did.
Yeah.
And she's still going on tour.
Great live.
And yeah, she's still going on tour. Like, I think she announced more tour dates, which is just insane. That, this woman is fucking, she is hard work. She's fucking hard working. Like, she's really killing it right now, and I think it's awesome. That, she's getting this much needed, attention that she really deserves. Because she's fucking great. I kind of wish that, I would love to hear Digital Witness on the radio. That sounds like such a, really good pop song. That I really want to hear on the radio. On, top 40.
Definitely.
Yeah. But yeah, very excited to see that she's, able to do stuff like this. She's still touring. I think, what do you guys think that, all of a sudden that she got really popular? Do you think it's just because, the music became more, accessible, more pop-friendly?
Maybe. I mean, I think there was a little bit more of a pop aesthetic to a lot of the stuff on this self-titled album that was really different from Strange Mercy. So, I mean, Strange Mercy, Strange Mercy, I think, focused a little bit more on technical stuff with guitar and other instrumentation and stuff like that, and that is one difference that would make. And then she went a little bit more popish, I guess, with the self-titled, and that is kind of.
I think it was she was in different places. I think whenever she was making Strange Mercy, she was in a place where I think a lot of people in her life were dying or died.
What?
And she was going through a lot of grief about this stuff, and that's kind of what inspired her to make the record. And this one, she seems to be a lot more happy. I think she described the album as a party record you could play at a funeral, or something along the lines of that.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so
she grew as a person a lot. So she worked with David Burney, and she was on Portlandia, so she kind of made herself into kind of pseudo celebrity status in the indie scene, and that's probably why
I can definitely see with the self-titled, I can definitely see the big influence David Byrne has had on her. There's a lot more to horn, there's a lot more brass stuff on the self-titled album. I think Gold's Channel was basically known for all the brass stuff they did with it.
Mm-hmm.
And so yeah, very exciting, to see that she's getting, she's able to do stuff like this. No tour dates in St. Louis. I missed her back in December because I think she was opening for the Black Keys, and I missed it.
That'd be a cool show, I think.
I missed it, and I'm very sad. And hopefully she'll come back around eventually, just doing a solo show.
And I bet you will.
I saw her a few years ago, but I didn't get to see her with her self-titled tour.
I did.
Yeah, also with the tour, I think she's done a lot more stuff. Definitely inspired by David Byrne, because I think David Byrne, they did certain choreography during the tour. They would do some dance, while they're singing, doing some weird odd kind of dance moves. And she
when
can
she
have
plays all
a
the songs off of her self-titled, she acts really like robotic and freaky. It's kind of, it was like really intimidating, and she just like kills it on the guitar. Like those songs off her new record definitely like added to the show, and I love her old stuff too.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Very exciting, very awesome to see. I mean, I'm of course anticipating. I'm just anticipating whatever she does next after she's kind of done with the touring and all this stuff. It's gonna be very interesting to see where her sound goes after this, because like she's had like this newfound popularity, and it's just sort of like, well, is she gonna go more in a pop direction, or is she gonna kind of like take a step back and kind of do something else? Because I'm very anticipating what she's gonna do next after this, because I think she said in her Reddit AMA like a year ago that she would kind of love to make something like she had back in like 2012, was it 2012 or was it 2011? She made the Crocodile / Grodd like 7-inch.
That was 2012, I think.
Yeah, so it'll be very interesting if she does, like, I think if she was inspired by, like, working with swans, and see if she'd, like, do more, like, a sound like that. Because Grodd very much sounds like St. Vincent does swans, to me.
That would be crazy.
Or she'll do sludge metal stuff like she did on Grodd. Like, I'd be very interested to see, like, what she'll do next. Because she could really go in a multitude of ways after this.
Sure.
Yeah.
All right. What's next? Flying Lotus.
Flying Lotus announced that he is writing a film. Of course, we don't really know any details. He just sort of like announced it on Twitter. I think he was talking. I think someone asked like, "Hey, when's the Captain Murphy album coming?" He's like, well, I'm kind of busy with other things at the moment."
Yeah, he's like I'm too busy writing this stupid movie. So that's kind of how he spoiled it.
Cool.
Hmm?
I think
it'll
that'll
be
be
cool.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, he. I think that Flying Lotus has a really kind of strange creative process. He's very unique with a lot of his stuff. He released. I don't know if a lot of people knew this, but it was in the Pitchfork article. But when his last album came out, Until the Quiet Comes, he helped a guy named Khalil Joseph, who is also helping him with this current movie, do a short film, it's only about 4 minutes long. But it's pretty cool, and I mean, with the artistic like stuff, with the whole design style, like on You're Dead, like with the packaging on the record and like music videos and stuff like that, and also that one like video that I can't remember where it was from. It was like his website or something, but before the release of the album, there was that video on his website which was pretty interesting. And had a lot of like,
it was kind of like a short animation, like who was the guy who did the art for that? Because I think it was like Shintego something.
I don't know. I mean, yeah.
I've seen someone post some of his other stuff on Tumblr, and it's again, the art on You're Dead and all that stuff like is really, really cool.
Yeah, he has a really interesting artistic style with all of his music, and every other form of art that he's involved in is all pretty weird and interesting. So I think this can only go well.
Very creative mind. I would like to see what he kind of comes up with, because there's a few artists that are like are saying that they're writing films. Like we already know Zach Hill's making a film, Tyler the Creator's making a film. Now I know Flying Lotus is making a film. Who else said they're making a film? I think there's someone else I'm missing.
I don't know.
Yeah, all these artists are kind of moving on to different things. That's very cool to see. Flying Lotus, I think, whatever he does, it'll be very interesting. If it's not good, at least it'll be very interesting to see what he does with this, film, I guess.
He scores it himself too. I thought he scores it himself too.
I know. Wait, I think your mic's messing up or something. I couldn't really hear you.
Yeah, I didn't hear what you said either.
Oh, that I hope he scores it himself too.
Oh yeah.
Oh, definitely.
He'll probably score it.
He'll have at least something to do with the music in that movie.
I'm sure.
Definitely. Of course, yeah. Finally, he's a very hardworking man. Like he did, the GTA 5 radio station, new album. Probably, helped like have his hand in like making music videos and the art for it. Like I think he's been scoring. He already scored a couple films. He's helping, he's running a record label, helping artists on his record label make music, like Thundercat especially, producing for other artists. He's a very, very busy man, I'd say. He's got a lot on his plate, and kind of and hopefully he's this is good. That's what I hope for. It's good and it's interesting to see because he's a very creative mind, and yeah. So on to the next news event. We have Aphex Twin. He announced a new EP that's supposed to drop on January 23rd. And like whenever Richard, aka FX Twin, like announced that, like, yeah, by the way, there's gonna be like a lot more music coming out now. Like now I feel like I'm ready to release a bunch more music. He just has to like put it together, like, and I guess he wasn't lying. Within like a year, like what was it? Like, because Cyro came out in September, so now it's been like 5 months, and we already have new FX Twin.
And this is supposed to be like acoustic, right? That's what I read.
Well, the title is like.
The title. Let me try to pronounce the title because
computer controlled acoustic instruments part 2. So I mean, I don't know if that's literal. I don't know if that's to be taken literally or not. But I mean, it's possible that there are computer controlled acoustic instruments that will be the focus on this album. But this is pretty exciting. The EP release for me, because it means that Aphex Twin's probably going to be releasing a ton of stuff now, because in the late 90s to early 2000s, that was how his release process went. He would record a bunch of stuff and then release it, and then he took a little bit of a break, I guess, from releasing under Aphex Twin.
A little bit of a break?
Yeah, I mean a 13-year break or something.
Until I think 2007 was the last time he released something. Like
Drux came out in 2001.
No, I'm talking about. I think he released like an EP under a different name and just kind of kept it a secret.
He's been making music under different names.
Yeah, I know. But I mean,
huge.
It's much easier to access stuff under Aphex Twin,
like
because
the last Aphex Twin release, like the actual last album was Drux. How do you pronounce it?
I think it's Drux.
Fucking Richard. Goddamn.
Yeah, the album names.
He really does. He's such a strange character. Like I have the track list right here. I'm gonna try to read off as many as I can.
Yeah.
Discat all prepared 1 mixed. 13. Snare 2. Discat 1. Piano 1 arpeggi.
Wait, which one is this from?
This is for the new EP.
Oh, I didn't see the track list for that.
Why is it called Part 2? Where's Part 1?
I don't know. Maybe it's like a microphones thing.
Oh, go fuck yourself, Aphex. Okay, so
what did you guys think of Cyro?
Oh yeah, let's talk about Cyro. Yeah, Cyro. I actually really liked Cyro. I think it was in my top 10 last year. I really enjoyed it. I thought I think it wasn't my first. I think it was like my first like really getting into like an Aphex Twin, because I tried to listen to some of his other stuff before, and this, of course, I didn't get like as hooked. I guess I didn't have enough time to really really dig into it. But Cyro, I have it on CD. It's I thought it was a very good album. I thought the tracks, they're just like the thing that like Richard, with him being back, like he puts a lot of like electronic artists to shame. Like if you really like pay attention whenever you listen to like his music, it's so fucking layered. There's so much going on, and everything is like there's like constant new sounds that are popping up, and it's just like it's insane like how he makes music. Like it's not very, I wouldn't say it's very repetitive for the most part. Like there's constantly something new going on.
Yeah.
He tries to keep like there's like a progression going on.
Yeah, I totally agree.
It's kind of similar to something like I would say like at least Cyro, some of the songs are, it's like post rock for electronic music. I would say.
I get that vibe.
Or like it, it's like stuff, it builds up and then it just drops and then goes to something completely different. And it's just sort of like really interesting, because it's like you're on a fucking journey whenever you're listening to like Cyro. Really is like a journey when you're listening to it, because like it's constantly changing and whatnot. And I thought it was very good. It was a return to form. Like a lot of people were expecting it to be like this big revolution since he waited so long to release something. But I think it was just like, yeah, I just need to release something, I guess, because people just really want something from me. So, I'll just give him this stuff. Like, this is the stuff I guess I think it says, like, it's the most, like, friendly stuff here. Like, it's the most accessible stuff, I think.
Yeah,
It's that.
I got a little overhyped on it, I guess, and into his older stuff, and I didn't really like Cyro's bunch of his older stuff. It kind of just was a little bland and repetitive, sort of.
I think it's because for me at least, the reason why, because I didn't really dig that much into Aphex Twin, is the reason why I think I enjoyed it more than like.
Yeah, like waiting whatever it was 10 years for that was a little.
It was like I think it was 13 years.
Yeah, I mean I didn't wait the whole time, but like just the expectations of it compared to stuff, I was a little let down. I didn't enjoy it as much as you did, I guess.
Okay, so hopefully the 23rd is really soon. Hopefully it's good. Fucking Richard's got his goddamn names you can't pronounce.
Yeah.
Well, actually, I think you can actually pronounce some of these names, but the ones in like Cyro, you cannot pronounce any of those names.
It's not as bad as like Drux.
Drugs, I think, that was a lot
like
worse.
Jane Wythek.
I think on here it just sounds like
they're not even
names.
They're not
he
words.
just doesn't even want to give them names. He just like, yeah, this is the foul name I had.
Yeah, what was the lead track off Siren was like Mini Pop?
It was Mini Pop 67, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's also like Xmas Eve T10 Thanachon 3 mix.
It was a little much.
Yeah, okay. What's next?
What is next?
It's
I think I accidentally closed out. Okay, what's next? Run the Jewels. They announced that they're going to be opening. No, it was Third Man Records, which is Jack White's record label, announced that Run the Jewels is going to be opening for Jack White at Madison Square Garden on the 30th of this month.
That's kind of cool.
Crazy show. That's a crazy show.
It's insane. Just like over the past, I would say, year and a half, just seeing like how quickly that Killer Mike and LP have just sort of like blown up. Like before, they were both very much like LP was very much like this weird underground dude, from New York who's making like this really weird experimental hip hop that no one really cared for, or they just thought they were nerds or whatever. To like gaining such like a big audience, like as of recently, like freaking r/hip hop heads, they're circle jerking Run the Jewels like crazy.
Run the Jewels played in an NFL ad too.
Yeah, and one of the instrumentals from the first album also played on like an ESPN commercial. It's just insane to see like some of the more like mainstream attention they're getting. It's got tons of album of the year wins.
I bet RTJ2 gets nominated for hip hop at the next Grammys. I wouldn't be surprised.
I wouldn't be surprised. I feel like I wanted to get nominated, but I don't think it's major because like if you look at the best rap album stuff, all of those choices are mainstream. They're all mainstream.
I mean, yeah, I don't think they'll get a nomination.
If Schoolboy Q and Childish Gambino can, I think they will. I mean, Run the Jewels got.
No, Gambino is mainstream. I would say again, Gambino. Glass Note is also what's that fucking band name they had? Mumford & Sons. Yeah, Mumford & Sons. They're also signed to Glass Note, and they won the Best Album Grammy in 2013, I think. So really, it's no surprise that Gambino already has a decent mainstream following, because he was on Community and all this stuff. So
so many publications gave Run the Jewels too. Like if it wasn't their top, it was definitely on probably their top 10. Like so many publications, it's really hard to ignore an album that gets that much attention.
And they give more attention than the first one. And I think I definitely say it's deserved. I haven't really gotten that much into Killer Mike's solo stuff besides rap music, but LP I've gone through his solo discography, and so I think I listened to what was the group? Fun Crusher. Or Company Flow he was in. And I think I listened to that kind of briefly, and again, his solo discography is I would say it's like LP solo stuff. Besides maybe Cancer for Cure is a lot better than Run the Jewels. I would say. Like I'll Sleep When You're Dead is like one of my favorite. Like I would say it's one of my favorite albums of all time. Like it's a really good album.
I really think LP.
Hi everyone, Anthony Fantino.
So what's your favorite solo LP album? Because I already said I'll Sleep When You're Dead.
That's also mine.
And it just again, I think Also Your Dead kind of meets the balance of like stuff we'd later see on like Run the Jewels, and then some of his like earlier stuff where it's still very much experimental, but also kind of has a bit more like more accessible.
The experimentation is what's so interesting. Like he does all this wacky, crazy stuff that like you don't see coming, and a lot of it you like don't realize until he listens. But that's what I really love about his production.
And some of the song concepts in Also Your Dead, like I think of course the Habeas Corpses, which is like this sort of basically it's a story about falling in love with someone on a prison ship when you're like a prison guard. It's like a very much like LP's music like before the Jewels is very much deals with like sci-fi and dystopian type concepts, and I think this is probably like the best one he did like with the sci-fi dystopian concept.
It's very thematic.
Very dramatic. I think Cage is also on it as like the other guard who's very like kind of the contrast to LP. And like LP, he's not in the story he doesn't pay himself as this perfect guy. Like he's done some horrible things.
Absolutely.
Already, it's implied that he's raped women. It's implied, of course, we already know he's probably killed a bunch of people. And and also I think it's also a little open to interpretation on like, of course we know he didn't actually save the girl. He ends up killing her, but it's like, has this happened before? Because like I think Cage says it's like I think LP's like it's like no it's different this time. Like it's happened multiple times before, and this is just another case of he sees a pretty face and all that stuff. It's very and of course also I think the one after that. What's the song after that where he kind of like is very like out there.
It's been a while since I listened to that album. I'll pull it up real quick.
It's God, okay, yeah, look it up real quick. But yeah, also we know it's very good. Fantastic Damage, also very good. But I think my problem with Fantastic Damage is that it goes on a little too long, in my opinion.
Oh, I deleted it on my iTunes shit.
I think do I have it on mine or is it on my stuff? Yeah, most of my stuff got. Because again, I got a MacBook as an early graduation present, as I was supposed to get it for graduation in like May, but I got it early. I think the song is The Overly Dramatic Truth, where it kind of talks about being kind of like using a girl that's like younger than him, and just being kind of like a complex relationships with that. And I think
it's very good though.
Oh.
No, we lost someone. We lost Maz. Whoops. Okay, so now it's just us three.
No, she's gone.
Okay. Technical difficulties on
that's
the
r/Indieheads That's what we get for trying to have diversity on the podcast.
We finally get a girl, and she's forced to leave.
Uh-oh.
So,
powers that be don't want us to have a girl on this podcast.
Powers that be. Speaking of the powers that be, Death Grips, we talked about this on.
Guys, the Needle Drop gave Fashion Week a 10.
Yeah, a strong 10 out of 10, the first review of the year, and it's glory. Amen.
By the way, guys, he actually gave it a 7.
I think,
what?
I was going to wait to say this, but I think this is the kind of album you don't score, and I was a little disappointed he didn't score it. Like, this kind of...
the thing is, I think he scored it just because it's a complete project, I'd say, but we don't really... It's sort of mysterious whether or not it's like an actual album, or it's just like a collection of instrumentals.
Yeah, to me, it doesn't feel like a complete project. It just kind of feels like, some instrumentals that either they kind of had and decided to release to fuck with us, especially with the Jenny Death Wen thing. But I think the whole project lacks cohesion.
And we talked about this, if you guys don't know, we recorded a special little # late night podcast on Friday, and we're probably going to release that.
It's a secret.
It's a secret now. The gates they're coming out, okay? The gates are open. We're going to have a trivia contest to to see if it'll be released or not. Because I think I said some things I kind of regret saying.
Yeah.
We'll find out if it ever sees the light of day.
We'll find out if it ever sees the light of day. But we discussed Fashion Week a bit there, but I think we discussed it a bit more. Because there's been Death Grip State. There's more stuff coming out now. Like there's more information we're finding out. So there's a Twitter account, BB Poltergeist. I think it's Poltergeist, I guess. And of course, this was it's like a spit on like an old handle that Death Grips had, and they deleted it. And of course, the Twitter was speculated. Most people at first thought it was fake, and then there is a screenshot from or something. I guess they're making the Inanimate. I think we discussed this on an earlier podcast, but a quick rundown. They posted a picture that was the same basketball court that was seen on the Inanimate Sensation music video. A couple other photos. They posted like a picture of like bikes and like the pills that was seen on the Boiler Room performance.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they also did that with a couple tours. I think they had those pills. They're just in the Blackjack video.
Oh.
Yeah, so like Southwest and like I think they was also on in the Blackjack music video. And then they posted a couple of tweets like everyone thought we broke up, but we didn't. They said they're going on tour, and then yesterday they posted a picture of all 3 members, Zach, Andy, and Stefan, enjoying themselves on the Tower of Terror at Disneyland.
Oh, that's what that was?
That was
that's ridiculous. What it was.
That you posted earlier? Oh.
Yes, it's an adorable little picture of the three men that I love most in my life, all having themselves a good time at the happiest place on earth. It's another picture. It's another rare picture of MC Ride's.
God, I wonder if any of the people on there know who they are. That's just the thing.
The guy in front of MC Ride is like wearing a Avenged Sevenfold shirt and like this wacky look on his face. And I saw like somebody commented on the picture on, I think it was on like fucking New or something. And somebody said, like, the Avenged Sevenfold guy, the guy in the Avenged Sevenfold shirt is sitting between MC Ride's dick in the back seat.
You sit between the back seat of my dick? Okay. But it's very, like, we basically know now that Twitter account is real. but we don't know for sure if like any of those tweets that they tweet are they just joking with us, or is it like are they actually going on tour?
It could be like a close friend of one of the members who like fucks with the fans. And
I don't think it's a close friend. I think it's them.
It's Jenny Death.
It's Jenny Death incarnate. Marilyn Monroe has rose from the dead and met death groups and started a Twitter account to mess with fans.
Yeah.
Very intensifies, and that's what's happening here.
But yeah, of course, Fashion Week. There's not really much to discuss, really. That's why, like, at least in the Fantano review, he basically just gave like a lot of context. Like most review was context, and then like the instrumentals. I think we said this, but I guess we should try to rehash what we were saying earlier. I don't think AJ was. Oh wait, AJ, yeah, you were there for the late
I was
night
there.
podcast.
Yeah, I said
we're all here for the late night.
I don't think it was that interesting. Like, I'm not. It's.
It's good.
It's good, but if it's the film score, like I want to see how it works in context. But like other than that, I don't really even see this as like a Death Grips project. Like I wouldn't include this in their discography at all. It kind of feels like a side shoot, sort of something, some instrumentals that are cool, but nothing like monumental.
I think it makes sense at the beginning, AJ. But like I said, Fantano, he said he gave it a 7 out of 10. I think I'd agree with that score. That's very much a 7 out of 10. It's enjoyable to listen to. Maybe not, like, it's kind of, as an album, it doesn't really, tie together as well. Like, some stuff gets a little, repetitive, and it's not really as, like, cohesive. But it's, but, like, some of the instrumentals on there are really good and really interesting. And I think I said it's also, like, some of their most accessible stuff, I'd say.
Yeah.
So it's not something, I wouldn't tell people, go listen to this album first, and then, but I'd say it's more accessible. Yeah. I think it's just something they gave to fans, like, in the meantime, like, okay, don't worry, guys, Jenny Death is coming, just, is this, again, I'm just going to interpret this, because I don't think, is this like the band telling us, like, they don't even know when Jenny Death's coming out? Because I think they're just letting, like, Harvest Records just handle the release.
No, I think they know exactly what they're doing.
Yeah. Trust Death Grips.
Trust Death Grips. So yeah, it's solid, I'd say. It's a nice little thing that, it's very cool. They just sort of released it. It was like, hey guys, here's some new music while you wait for Jenny Death. Of course, it would have been nice to get Jenny Death on the time they said they were going to release it, but that's how it is. They're Death Grips, and they do Death Grips things because they like to be Death Grips, Grips, and Death Grips. So, anyways, on to the last news piece, which I guess is the unofficial main topic. The Coachella lineup and the Governor's Ball lineup was released, and of course, when people were saying in the Coachella lineup, the headliners are AC/DC, Jack White, and Drake.
AC/DC.
And I think the lineup is sort of odd, I say. Like, AC/DC, I wouldn't have AC/DC. Like, that's not a good choice. Like, that's not a good choice.
I would not consider seeing them at all, unless I was...
Like, Drake is
whenever they're having headliners, like, I understand why they have Drake, because Drake is a safe choice. He's the most, I would say he's the most popular rapper right now.
But like the closing act of the whole festival, really.
Closing headliner.
I think Drake is a safe choice. I think that just because he's very much, popular mainstream, kind of has a little bit of appeal with everyone. Safe choice. I understand why they picked Drake. Jack White came out with a new album, also a safe choice to go with. He's very popular. He's got shows at Madison Square Garden, so I think he's a very safe choice for the festival, and apparently he's a very good performer along with Drake. But AC/DC, like, Coachella, most of Coachella, the main target is like young people.
Yeah, exactly. It's really weird that they picked this in the first place, and like, I'm not even saying that because like I don't care for AC/DC that much, like, but it's just not like it's just weird that they chose them in the first place because it doesn't fit with the aesthetic of Coachella at all. Like,
yeah, they're just banking on people like recognizing the name, I guess, getting excited about it. Like, it's a buzz topic pretty much.
They're popular, so I mean, enough people are gonna have heard of them. But the question is, like, are people actually gonna care enough to go and see them when there's like other bands that they probably like more that will be there? So I mean, it's just weird. But this lineup's getting a lot of trash, and I don't know why, because it's actually really good. There are tons of. I mean, if I lived close enough to the festival, I'd probably try to go as hard as I could because there's a ton of acts that I wish I could see really badly. I mean, if I could go through a few. Do you guys care if I go through a few like?
Yeah, definitely.
That
I really like.
I think some like the headliners are a little like disappointing, but like some of the other people on there is like they're still really good.
Yeah.
There's some other good like underlining acts.
Yeah, but anyways, like Ride, shoegaze band from Britain, who have been, I mean, they've been around for a while, and they like broke up, I guess, but then now they're doing some shows, like an American football type situation. I'd love to see them live. I mean, that's something I never thought I'd get the opportunity to go see, that I'd actually be able to. Like Flying Lotus, I'd love to see Flying Lotus a lot. I've seen like videos of his shows, from like You're Dead.
Jewels are on there too, right?
Yeah, Run the Jewels. I'd love to see Run the
Tame
Jewels.
Impala's going to be there. So hopefully by then we'll get some more album details.
Yeah. Brand New would be a pretty good show, and
that'd be great.
there's a chance that, I mean, they'll probably end up playing some new stuff, because it's they're recording their new album right now.
See Tyler the Creator. Hopefully get some new album details from him, because usually he kind of does like an every 2 year cycle.
It's not like the little thing we do, but it's like a cesspool sort of.
I've heard Coachella is very much overrated.
It's like a popularity kind of thing. So most people go like not for the music. Most people go for the event, and it's like too big. I wouldn't really go to Coachella, in my opinion. It's kind of shitty.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think there's some very interesting. I'm a little I'm looking at the lineup right now, and on the 2nd day, April 11th and 18th, I'm surprised to see Run the Jewels is kind of like a smaller font. I would imagine they'd be a little bit higher.
Yeah, they're a small font.
It's always based on popularity, really.
But Run the Jewels this year, at least now, they're a lot popular. I think they can.
They're not that popular. They're not as popular as the artists above them, probably. So I mean,
again, I think Run the Jewels is a lot more. Who the hell is Axel and Ingrosso? I don't know who that is.
I mean, it could also be a local thing too. Like a lot of these bands might be from California.
I just think Run the Jewels. I feel like they're popular enough that they can be higher. Oh, I didn't know that.
I mean, going through every one on there, like Bad Religion, Subtract, Twigs, Tyler the Creator, Father John Misty, War on Drugs. I can't read that one on the right, but
Yeah, World.
Rostradamus. I don't know what that is, but almost all of those are definitely more popular than Run the Jewels, in my opinion. So,
I mean, whatever. It's like, again, it's not a horrible lineup, but I think most people would disagree.
And I agree with
I
that.
would say I think at least the headliners. Drake is a safe choice. Jack White's a safe choice. AC/DC is just an odd choice and doesn't make any sense, in my opinion, for a festival like Coachella, where most of its audience is young people, 18 to 24. That's like the main demographic, and AC/DC does not fit the 18-24 demographic of young people who love drugs and Molly and weed and whatnot, and drink until their liver's just like, dude, man, you gotta stop, bro. Calm down, bro. It's like, bro, just stop, bro.
Yeah, they won't fit in there very well.
But let's see. So of course, also the Governor's Ball also came out. Let me try to find the lineup real quick. Is there a link posted? I think hopefully someone put a link in there.
yeah, it's in there.
Okay, I'll open it up real quick while. I know some of the people on there. The main headliner, I think, is the big headliner is like the main. God damn it, fucking Pitchfork. God fucking this MacBook kind of sucks in certain ways. Okay, Drake is also headlining Governor's Ball. Black Keys, Dead Mouse, Florence and the Machine, Lana Ray, My Morning Jacket, and Bjork are like the main people, I'd say.
Yeah, I mean, this is a much smaller festival. I actually hadn't heard of it until the lineup was posted.
And I'm actually looking at these, and this is actually, I think it's a lot better than the Coachella lineup. I think they got some better names.
They got Weird Al.
I mean, this is the kind of festival I'd rather go to over Coachella.
The other thing about this one is it's definitely going to be a smaller festival than Coachella. And I mean, for Coachella to be such a big festival, I'd definitely expect a really, like, a much bigger lineup in terms of, headliners being, like, really big acts. But, one sec.
Yeah, but going back to Coachella real quick, I mean, last year the headliner was Outkast. They were reuniting, and it was a big deal. And then, Coachella's like, oh, hey, AC/DC, they're the new album this year. No one really cared about it.
Oh, God, did they?
Yeah, they did give it. I saw the vinyl at my record store, and I'm like, why are they still... And actually, the cover for it was actually really cool, because it was like, those, like, little scratchy covers whenever like you turn in a certain way, like it makes different images.
Yeah.
It was like that, where like it was like rock, it was like a rock, and it like got destroyed, and it was kind of cool. But I wouldn't actually buy the album because I don't care for AC/DC. I think they're
No, they were still putting shit out.
exactly. Yeah. It's like they're really old. Why are you guys still making music? You know, there's it's like you still think you can rock and roll? Okay, cool, old man.
All right. Well, I mean, I think that some other major festivals need to announce their lineups first before I like start saying festivals aren't as good as they were before. But like, there's still like Bonnaroo. There's still Bonnaroo.
I'm close to Walla, I guess, like geographically, so that's the one I'm the most excited to see. That's the only one I'd actually consider.
I think there's a festival in St. Louis, but I think the only two people I heard of were Outkast and Arctic Monkeys, and I don't listen to Arctic Monkeys, but Outkast I listen to occasionally, but not like super often. But,
wait, what's the festival in Chicago? Wasn't there a festival in Chicago last year?
Pitchfork's a festival in Chicago. And Pitchfork, we were discussing on Friday's podcast. I think we all agreed that like Pitchfork was probably the best festival.
Are they always in Chicago?
Last year. Yeah, Lala and Pitchfork are both in Chicago. And I went to Pitchfork last year. Like the size is kind of perfect. Like you can walk around and see any act you want to without having to fight those crowds of drunk deaf teenage hippies.
Yeah,
is again one quick thing before we go back to AJ. I think your mic's messing up again. And did you hear his mic messing up, Nick?
A little bit. It wasn't too bad though.
It's getting a little Kanye on us.
Huh.
But yeah, on Friday's podcast we were discussing that like Pitchfork is probably the best festival, and I kind of hope I can make it up to there next year. I really want to go eventually.
Next Pitchfork festival, I definitely want to go if I can.
I'm hoping I can go at least.
Well, we should meet up.
Yeah, totally.
We should meet up. That'd be awesome. We can try to see if we can score any interviews since we can't really score Anthony Fantano. At least we thought we could.
We're working on it.
We talk about Fantano a little bit on the mystery, on the secret podcast.
Yeah. We don't want to ruin the surprise.
But anyways, yeah, that's basically it for news. I don't think there's really. I think that if there's anything else, we couldn't say much about, like Silver Jews. I don't know who Silver Jews are.
Yeah. What was the other one we deleted? Like
Silver Jews. I think there's something else that I don't remember.
I think that's the only one we deleted.
Alright, it's nothing that mattered. Okay, next thing.
Onto what have we been listening to this week. So, AJ, you want to go first?
I'll go first. What have I been listening to this week? First thing I want to talk about is, it's actually a movie soundtrack for a movie called The Guest, which I'm going to recommend the movie. I'm also going to recommend the soundtrack because it's like that kind of 15 Drive, which is one of my favorite movies. It's got like that 80s.
Drive?
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that movie. That soundtrack is really good too.
Good
definitely,
movie.
Definitely check out The Guest. Similar soundtrack, similar movie with like 80s aesthetic. Pretty great. And the next thing I wanted to talk about is Bjork. You mentioned Bjork, and I had to like get into it. And Only That is like now one of my favorite albums.
AJ, I think again. Sorry to point out again. I think you need to just can you unplug and plug in your mic.
Sure.
I think it's probably his internet connection, maybe. I don't know.
If you guys didn't hear, he was talking about the 1997 Bjork album, Homogenic, which that's who we took out, because Haxon Cook is also producing on Bjork's new album, along with Arca, which is a very good album, and of course we just decided that we want to talk about the new Bjork album, like what we're finding out so far about it, and I think I'm very excited for the new Bjork. I didn't really care for Biophilia that much, but like if she's working with guys like Arca, like I feel like she's gonna produce some really crazy shit with this next album.
Yeah,
because we've already heard Arca's solo work. At least I've heard Arca's solo work. We've already heard his work with FK Twigs, and we've seen some of this visual stuff he does. And Bjork is very much like a big visual person, and Arca is also a big visual person with his work with Jesse Kanda, who's also done some stuff with FK Twigs. But they're all in like some sort of like kind of like the same camp. And it's gonna be very interesting to see what Bjork does with this next album. I think, of course, it's gonna sound insane. I think we already know that it's gonna sound really insane.
Yeah.
And she hasn't really sounded like really insane since Medulla. Like that was the last time where she really went like off the walls crazy. So it's gonna be very interesting to see what she does because like she's pushing 50. Like I think she's like 49. She's gonna be 50 later this year.
Wow,
which is
I
like
did not know that.
which is insane.
That is insane.
That she's still really trying to.
Impressive.
And she's really still trying to push the boundaries of music, even when she's pushing 50. Very similar to Michael Giron and Swans, where the two because most people maybe
he's like 60 though.
Yeah, he's 60.
He's like a lot older.
And like he is not making music for something by a 60-year-old man.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, Homogenic, of course. Homogenic is a very good album. I think like most people consider it consider like Radiohead Kid A to be like this big revolutionary album, but like what they were doing on Kid A, Bjork was kind of doing like 3 years earlier. Maybe not as like crazy as Radiohead was doing, like really getting into it, but like Bjork, it was there, like IDM stuff, like it was there.
I actually read that Tom York said like Unravel off this album was like his favorite song of all time and really wanted to cover it.
They cover it, yeah. They've covered it before.
It sounds also like I went back and listened to like I think it's Nude off in Rainbows. Like actually, I kind of get elements of it. Like I see where he was inspired by that song.
The vocals are kind of similar, like the vocal styles, I guess. Like the highlight of the song in Nude and Radiohead and kind of most songs off of Homogenic is just like the centerpiece is definitely the front vocal. So I mean, yeah, I think that's an obvious influence from that. But yeah.
Definitely.
And Homogenic is like it came out in 1997. It came out whenever I was not the day of, but the year I was born. So it's like that album is like it's 17 years old and it still sounds like very modern, which is really
it absolutely is a modern sound. I like what you said about Kid A too. Like I definitely see that now.
Yeah, that made me think of something actually. What you said about that album being from the year you were born, because I bought an album earlier that was from the year I was born. Emergency and I, the Dismemberment Plan.
Oh,
is from 1999, and I'd never listened to it, but I wanted to give it a shot, and that kind of made me think of like albums that are from the year I was born because it's kind of cool to make a comparison. But I was
1999.
Yeah.
You don't sound like you're born in 1999.
I know.
Yeah, I was gonna say that. I'm the oldest person here right now. What the hell?
Yeah, I'm a freshman in high school, but my voice is a little bit low for my age, and I have a little cold right now. So, American Football, same title album, is also from 1999. So yeah, I mean,
what else came out in 97? I'm trying to think. Something. I don't know, but yeah, Homogenic is a very good album. I think my favorite song off that album is probably Pluto because it sounds. I think Pluto. I think that's a 17-year. I think it's a preview of like maybe what like the Arca stuff will sound like on the Bjork stuff because like that song Pluto is fucking insane.
Yeah.
Like it's got she's got like distortion in her voice. It's got a very like really strong electronic beat that sort of sounds like very like aggressive and kind of abrasive, I would say, compared to other stuff. Where like
she gets aggressive on like for that too. I think that might be my favorite track.
Where she gets really aggressive and it's just like. But I think that's either that song or Bachelorette is my favorite on that album because Bachelorette sounds very like. I think the music video is very like it sounds like a story.
Yeah,
like it feels like a play.
Something about a killer whale too.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, Bjork. Very excited to see what she does this year. I think she has a very strong discography besides maybe Biophilia, but I think Biophilia is just sort of like even though I didn't like it, I still did a lot like new stuff with like the app where it was released as like the album was released as an app and like the sort of visual like kind of pushing like okay, well how can you release music nowadays? Like, we've already seen a couple artists like trying to figure out like new ways to release music or trying to change the norm for like of course surprise releasing stuff, BitTorrent, visual albums, all that stuff. Yeah. Very interesting to see what she does. So what else did you listen to, AJ, or do we want to go to Nick?
That's all I want to this week, yeah.
Alright, so what did you listen to, Nick?
Alright, I think the album I listened to the most this week was Spiderland by Slint, because I watched the documentary about Slint called Breadcrumb Trail, which kind of follows the punk rock, noise rock kind of like scene of Louisville, Kentucky. And I really loved watching that documentary and looking at the sort of like way that Spiderland and Slint came to be and how they kind of just like disappeared all of a sudden. And I think they're a really interesting band, and this album is really weird too. Like I don't know, it's kind of polarizing at first because you're kind of like well, this is a little awkward, like the spoken word stuff and the really like abrasive instrumentation is kind of like, I don't really know if I like it, I don't know if I don't, but I actually thought that it was a little bit better. I can appreciate it a little bit more now that I know the origin and stuff like that. So yeah, I think if there's I like basically all the songs on this. It's probably one of my favorite albums of all time. It's just come to me after a while that it's really good.
I just listened to it for the first time like recently, and it definitely like I'd seen it talked about a lot, but I didn't like know what it was until, and then like the first spoken words come in, and I was like, whoa, I'm really into this. Like I'm gonna have to listen to it more, but I definitely really like that album.
Yeah, I thought that the spoken word was pretty cool at first, and like I think that the way that their lead singer like transitions from like just speaking to like his like screaming kind of like loud vocals, like was really, I thought that was really cool and pretty unique. Like I hadn't heard anything like it before. Yeah, so alright, what else have I listened to? I also listened to Vecadamest by Grizzly Bear. I actually I have this weird thing with Grizzly Bear albums. I always like the first half of the album a lot more than the second half. Like, do you ever, like, that's really weird. Like, and the weirdest part about it is it applies to like every Grizzly Bear album. Like like Shields. Like I think some of my favorite songs on Shields are like the first 5, and with like Vecadamest, like I don't know. It's weird, but I just decided to re-listen to it. Like, and I like the whole album like as a whole a lot more. I have an appreciation for a lot of.
Still, like, it has better songs. Like I think, like, of course, I think to take it back, of course, Death Grips. I think Fantano says, and I agree with it, that the first half of Government Plates is a lot better than the second half.
Yeah, I think Government Plates like
is a really good example of like that type of dichotomy.
Yeah,
the first half was like really good. Oh, you go on.
I was gonna say, I find that happening. Like I like the first half a lot more. I usually will like try and do as much as I can, and then when I come back on like a later listen, I'll start halfway through, because a lot of the time it's like fatigue. You're getting kind of like, you know, used to the same sounds and stuff, so I'll start like halfway through.
Yeah.
All the tracks like sound to me on a fresher listen.
It's hard to sit there through like only one album and like listen to the whole thing for some people. Yeah. So like I mean like it took me a while to just like enjoy listening to an album like all the way through, but now I think I can do it. But I think that like I came to appreciate a lot of the other tracks on Vecadamest. Like some of my favorite songs now, like Ready Able is really cool. It's kind of like this weird psychedelic jam. It kind of just like picks up suddenly at one point, and it's really interesting. While You Wait for the Others is really cool. There's lots of like nice vocal melodies. Vocals on Grizzly Bear songs are really good a lot. Like they harmonize really well. It's like Fleet Fox level of harmonizing. Alright, let's see, what else? I have a few things to choose from. I guess I'll go with, I listened to, It Was Hot, We Stayed in the Water by the Microphones. I think that, I mean, like, I think this band is, like, I mean, Phil Elverum. I'm listening to a lot of his stuff right now to get, like, hyped up for Sauna, which is coming out in like February, I think. Let me look it up real quick.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, it's February something. Yeah, February 3rd. And I think that I really like the way that that Phil Elverum has been like consistently releasing stuff like for like I don't know, like 15 years, like 16 years or something, and he hasn't lost traction. He's been going really strong for a really long time. I mean, and this album, It Was Hot, We Stayed in the Water, was like his major breakthrough in my opinion. Like he hadn't like his first stuff like before that, like Don't Wake Me Up and some like early recordings were kind of like weird, like experimental, like lo-fi stuff. It was kind of weird, like no one, I mean, like it wasn't as like it wasn't as appreciated as his later stuff was, but I think that It Was Hot, We Stayed in the Water is a really nice starting point for a lot of things that he's done later on with Mount Erie and the album after that, The Glow Part 2. Yeah, I think.
Glove Part 2 is the one everybody talks about. Like,
Yeah. I don't really like that either. Like, I don't like how it seems like everybody's always talking about the Glow Part 2, because I think it's kind of overrated, and it's definitely not like his best album. It's like, I think his best album is either like Mount Erie, like the Mount Erie album by the Microphones, or like in Mount Erie, the Wind's Poem is also like really good. But people are always talking about the Glow Part 2, and I think it's good, but it's just kind of overhyped by a lot of people. It's not like, I don't think it's kind of overrated, but it's still good.
Mm-hmm. So, is there anything else to listen to this week?
Not really. I mean, that, like, the same stuff that always pops up, like Bad Man Not Good's whole discography is on my 3x3, and like some hip hop stuff, like Acid Rap by Chance the Rapper, and Clipping by Clipping. Like clipping, I don't know how to say that. I think it's pronounced, yeah.
Clipping without any
CLPPNG.
Yeah, CLPPNG.
So I guess I'll go on to what I listened to this week. Of course, I listened to Fashion Week.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if I can really discuss. Of course, I didn't listen to a whole lot of stuff this week either, but I guess I can discuss a little bit. I listened to at least today I was listening to Travis Scott, Days Before Rodeo, and
yeah.
Let me try to explain. Okay, so Days Before Rodeo I think is a good album, but his previous album, which was Owl Pharaoh, I think is complete garbage. I think it's an awful album. It's one of the worst I've ever heard. It's probably the worst album of 2013 in my opinion. It's really bad. I just did not enjoy listening to it. But Days Before Rodeo is really good. I like the production. I think the production's very good. I think Travis, for the beats he does, I think he does an okay job with them. But I kind of would want a better rapper. But I think it fits him. But there's definitely some much to be desired when it comes to just rapping, and the features are fucking killer. Like Young Thug, Rich Homie Quan, Migos, a couple other people are really, really good on that album. And I kind of want, because like then you try to listen, like at least for me, Young Thug. I think the biggest problem he has, like for a rapper, he's very interesting. He's very unique. He just needs to get like better production that fits his weird voice. Like I just don't want to see him rapping over generic Atlanta beats. I don't want to see that. I want to see him rapping over like weird shit. Maybe not death grips, but like weird shit nonetheless. Like something like Danny Brown. Like, I just don't see why people they're like freaking out over Young Thug when like someone like Danny Brown is doing stuff that's he's got the weird voice. He has better production. He's a better rapper than Young Thug, where he's not as popular.
Young Thug's the meme rapper. The whole like I can't understand him thing is what makes him catchy. Meme rap at its finest.
Of course, Lifestyle, where the hook you can't even figure out what he's saying.
Living
life like a beginner is this on McKinnon.
And
and of course,
putting it on Vine and shit, like that's what's making it popular. It's not his musical talent at all.
And then of course there's a speculation on whether or not he's gay. And then I think we talked about this last week where he had the tweet where smoking penises, 4 exclamation points. And you're just I'm still puzzled over it. I'm trying to figure out what he means by that.
That's mystifying.
It's mysterious. He's definitely a mysterious dude. I think that's also another appeal he has, is that like he's still very like kind of confusing at times. He's a little cryptic. But I think Young Thug, he has potential to be really good. He just needs to get better production and needs to work with better people. I guess I think going with Birdman is not the best choice. I mean, if you want to get mainstream popularity, I think that's a good choice. But like if you don't want to be screwed over, don't work with Big or Birdman, because Birdman will screw you over.
That's a bad choice.
I mean, whenever he's screwing over Lil Wayne, arguably the most popular person he's ever had in his label, like that definitely tells you about his business practices. And of course, there's been rumors that he's actually like, of course, not really rumors, but just like confirmed stuff where he hooks some of his artists on heroin. He, let's see, I think there was a story about with Lil Wayne where he didn't rape Lil Wayne, but he got Lil Wayne raped. Like
what?
Like, okay, so I think Wayne was like 12 at the time, 12 or 13 at the time, and like Birdman had like someone in their 20s like fuck Wayne, like someone who was like 22, 23, which basically is like rape, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So Birdman's a piece of shit.
Yeah.
So I would not recommend working with him. But so yeah, Days Before Radio. Anyways, back to Travis Scott. Travis Scott. The production, I think the difference between this and Al Faro, I think, because if you look at the production credits for this album, Travis Scott is not like he doesn't have that many production credits on it. Like it's other people, and I assume he maybe probably just did some collaborations. Like he kind of helped in the production, but like I think he just sort of like I think he does a little bit better as like I guess the role that Kanye currently has, where it's like he's not the one producing, he's the one that's kind of like getting everyone collaborating and like getting the it put together, like kind of getting the creative juices flowing, but not necessarily supplying the beats. Yeah, it's kind of hard to explain, but I think that, again, with him taking a back seat on the production, I think that's a good idea. He needs to keep moving forward with that. Rapping, I guess he always has time to improve as a rapper. And I think with this, Days Before Radio is definitely a step up in terms of his rapping. Like, I think he's worked on his flows a little bit. He's worked on the lyrics a little bit. Still much to be desired, but a lot better than before. He's improving, which is good.
I skipped that album because nothing he put out like really impressed me, and I didn't hear the things about that, so I just didn't listen to it.
I think it's a really.
Are you talking about Days Before Radio?
I'm talking about
Days Before Radio.
Yeah, you should check it out. It's really good.
The number is really good. I would say it's really good. As someone who hated Alfaro, it's really good.
Okay.
So I think that's definitely it's a solid 7.5. I'd say solid 7.5. Right. Enjoyable album. I listened to this week. I listened to actually that's really all I can really say that like without like talking about albums I've already talked about before. I listened to I think I was trying to listen to Old by Danny Brown a little bit, which is a very good album. Not as good as XXX. Not as good as XXX, but still very good. Yeah. The first half of Old is better than anything on XXX, but like the second half kind of like I'm not into some of the stuff on there.
Yeah, Old has a lot of filler. Like if Old was slimmed down like a lot and was maybe like six songs shorter or something like that, it would be crazy good.
6 songs shorter, I think
yeah, what are the essential songs? We need to.
The first half is essential. Listen, Side A is fantastic. I think if Side A was its own album, it'd be really good.
Yeah, we need to keep like on the second half. We should totally keep like. Keep
the song
dip.
Side B, keep smoking and drinking, and that's pretty much it.
What about the Charlie XCX song?
Is that the one with Float On? That's Float On. Keep Float On. That's
keep
good.
The
that's
closer,
good.
And that's like a cohesive album. Yeah.
Yeah. I think I was keep some bangers on there, kind of mixed in there. I think just like I feel like with this album, I think he like of course with XXX XXX had a side A and a side B, and I feel like he had to do that for the next album.
Yeah.
But he didn't need to. I personally didn't think he needed to.
Hi-Res Danny Brown.
But I'm also very excited to see what he does next. Cause I think in 106 in Park he was on there to premiere one of his music videos, which is weird by the way. And I think he said that he was listening to a lot of Bjork, which is of course that's a good person to listen to.
He has a very interesting taste in music. Something Danny Brown and I have in common is our favorite band of all time, Arcade Fire. And
wait, that's really his favorite album of all time? I mean, his favorite band. Wow.
His favorite band of all time is Arcade Fire.
That's weird. All right.
He's got weird influences, and I think his new album is coming. He's working on it, so it's coming.
I think it's gonna do. It's probably gonna be like another every 2-year cycle. So hopefully it comes out this year. I think he's been keeping quiet about his music. So
I said on the last podcast that Danny Brown's without a doubt my favorite rapper currently working. So
he's definitely. I think I put him in my top 3. I think I said top 5, but I would put him in my top 3. Like, so he's very much like. It's like okay, he's basically just when people like Young Thug for okay, it's infuriating because you go on a website like Kanye too though, and it's infuriating seeing all these Young Thug stands be they're praising him for being it's oh he's so weird, he's pushing the boundaries. It's just no, go listen to Death Grips or Danny Brown. They're pushing the boundaries. Young Thug, he's got a weird voice.
Young Thug's pushing the boundaries of understandability.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, so that's really about it. That's all I really listened to this week. Of course, we don't have the main topics this week, so that's basically we're just gonna wrap things up.
Lots of news, so good.
Lots of news, but that's basically about it for this podcast.
What are we gonna end the podcast with?
Oh yeah, we need a song of the week. What was there?
What one of the Runway songs? Which one was the best? Wasn't it one of the E's or something? I don't know.
I liked the first E. I think.
Okay, I'm listening to it right now.
Okay, here we go. We're gonna.
Yeah, this is the second E, first Runway E, right?
Runway E2 by Death Grips. That's the song of the week. So Matty, G signing out.
See you guys.
Next week we'll talk about Panda Bear.
Yeah.
Bye.
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 See you guys.